Another shite performance against a lacklustre, poor Aston Villa side, but I guess Bruce will tell us we should be happy with the point. Aston Villa match review. I'm sorry, we can't put up with performances like that. Yes, obviously we've all screamed a sigh of relief. I've done it, you've probably done it at home. I got beer spilt all over the carpet. Utter and sheer relief in this relegation battle to see Lascelles power that header in. But let's not make that the smoke screen on what was another absolutely shite performance, and I'm sick to death of it. I don't like doing these negative videos, but let's be honest, if I said anything positive, I'd be lying. There's no positives to take from that match tonight. Yes, it's another point, and we could have got beat, and I'm sure these are all things Steve Bruce will say in his press conference, which I've refused to watch tonight because I just can't put up with the man anymore. But again, we were playing against an Aston Villa side without Jack Grealish, and it showed. They caused us hardly any problems at all, and it was a great opportunity for us to pull away before the other teams around us play at the weekend, really set a marker out, put some pressure on them, and go into the weekend with a smile on our faces against a fixture, let's be honest, you would want in this relegation battle. Aston Villa at home without their main player, and it was just poor again. I'm struggling for positives from that. I'll try and start with the positives before I delve any deeper. Main positive for me would probably be, God, it's like clutching at straws. Paul Dummett. Yes, an Aston Villa team that created no chances. I'm sat here saying that our left back, who's only played 2 or 3 times this season, was my man of the match and one of the only positives. He needs to stay in the team for me. I'll even go as far as saying Paul Dummett put more crosses into the box tonight of quality than Jamaal Lascelles has done all season. And anyone who's watched my previous videos knows I'm not a huge Jamaal Lascelles fan. I haven't seen any signs of promise from him so far. But Paul Dummett did everything for me to suggest that he has to be one of the first names on the team sheet in this relegation battle. Solid tackles, great in the 18-yard box, always switched on. And actually tonight, he's crossing into the box. He put some fantastic balls in there that we just unfortunately had no one to attack them. Other positives, clean sheet. That went, so I can't use that one. Didn't get beat. God, that's again, I'm clutching straws massively. Isaac Hayden, well, he was as solid as he always is. I thought Willock was a little bit better tonight. He pushed forward a little bit more, and we saw a little bit more of him on the ball than what we did against West Brom. Apart from that, I'm struggling. Maybe it's Murphy's performance when he came on as a substitute, and that is it. I'm not even going to try and name any more positives from that performance because there wasn't any. Yes, it's another point out of the relegation battle. Another point on the board, which could be crucial at the end of the season. I think that's the reason that I jumped up, probably is the reason you did when Lascelles banged in that goal, because we have no idea whether on the last day it might go down to a point. It has done in previous years. So for us to equalise with the last kick of the game after that awful goal we conceded, yes, it felt good and it was a relief to get that point on the board, but I'm not buying it. Steve, I'm sorry, I'm not. And please let us know in the comments what Steve Bruce said in the press conference, because I've refused to watch that man speak. I'm sure he was probably delighted with the way that match ended. And he probably said, oh, I'm on the balance of play. You know, Lascelles has got us another valuable point there, and we work in progress. But just to let you know, I don't think I've mentioned, we are missing our 3 best attacking players, and the players have had coronavirus. And if the mighty Rafa had got that point, you wouldn't be whinging at him. Have a day off, Steve, will you? Press conferences are an absolute joke. So yeah, positives, that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other off the top of my head. I would probably say Joe Linton's got to be the first talking point for me. Joey, what happened here tonight? Let's just start again with the positives of what Joe Linton can do. He found himself in great positions through athletic running, really busting a gut to get to the ball, and he gets in that final position, and his decision making is absolutely diabolical. A professional footballer who can never figure out when's the right time to pass, when's the right time to shoot. Yes, we know he's not a centre forward, and that's been the reason that he's maybe not having a go at goal in some of these opportunities. But that's still not an excuse, because you know as a footballer, even if you're Clark or Lascelles racing through in that position, whether you should be cutting across the keeper and just having a shot on goal, because that's the only reason you score goals. But Lascelles doesn't do that. He doesn't. Sorry, Joe Linton. Sorry, my head's all over from that match tonight. Joe Linton doesn't do that. And again, I think tonight was probably the most infuriating performance I've seen from him, purely because he did some good things. And I've got no doubt, if you ask Tyrone Mings tonight what he thought of Joe Linton as an opponent, I'm pretty confident Tyrone Mings would say, "Oh God, he give us a game. I'd be happy to see the back of him for now." And I think most of you watching this would agree with me. Tyrone Mings was kind of run ragged in different areas because Joe Linton was pulling him right and he was holding the ball up. And it's those early things that he does quite well at times. But if he's going to get the chances in matches at the same as he did against West Brom last week when he had a p-roller of a shot and he should have passed it, had a shot rather than trying to pass to Ryan Fraser. If he is the man who's going to get our best opportunities, we are going to get relegated. Aside from the tactics, aside from Steve Bruce, Joe Linton cannot be the man we rely on to take chances. So Callum Wilson, if you're watching this, go to whatever shrink you need to sort your thing out. Do whatever weird hocus pocus spell before you go to sleep every night. Nap for a week, have a spa weekend. Do whatever the hell it takes to get back, because we need you back ASAP. So yeah, Joe Linton, another game where we left wondering, what the hell have we just watched? What does he bring to the team other than, again, in that performance, frustration, utter frustration. Yes, we had chances here and there where we could have maybe scored. Murphy, if you would ask him in an interview, I'm sure Murphy would tell you he probably should have scored that chance when he hit the bar. That was the one where I thought, oh God, you really have to bury that. And that was another needy moment. The goal that Aston Villa scored, it was unlucky. Yes, we weren't set up the best in the run-up to the goal, but it was unfortunate. It comes off Clark, it comes off the bar. And at that point, I am thinking we are down. If that match had finished 1-0 tonight from a goal like that in the 86th minute, the players are going to come off even more dejected than what they were after the week from hell with Richie, the Richie falling out and the league to the press, the West Brom diabolical game. I think that could have been curtains for us, which is why I think Lascelles' goal was so important, which is the only positive I can take from tonight, was that last-ditch equaliser. But let's just get straight into Dwight Gale. We've all wanted him to play. I wanted him to play. Some people might have been calling for Andy Carroll. I think Andy Carroll's a little bit past it now, but Gale was finally put in. I saw that on the team sheet and I was like, right, Steve, you've done one there. Let's see what Gale can do. And then the match starts and Gale is on the left-hand side. The left-hand side of a three. You cannot tell me in a million Sundays that Dwight Gale, if he was asked the question where he likes to play, he would ever say the left-hand side. He's not a winger. He has no idea, positional-wise, what to be doing there. Why is he not playing down the middle? You've got Fraser, who's maybe played as a central attacking false striker a couple of times in his life, probably for Scotland. I believe that's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's where he's maybe played that position as a false number 9. Why he is playing there, and I know they switched quite a few times, but why he is starting there and Gale's on the left-hand side is beyond me. And it's just another stupid decision from Steve Bruce to finally give Gale a crack. I think the last time Bruce started Gale was at Chelsea and he played him on the right-hand side and then hooked him off. I mean, what's Gale got to do to just play the full 90 minutes down the middle? And yes, I'm not going to say Gale had a great game tonight because he didn't. I can't overly remember him being involved in too much significant. But he has to be playing in the right position. And whether he's trying to accommodate Joe Linton, it just beggars belief why a winger, a natural winger and a striker are playing in the opposite positions at times on the football field. And it infuriates me more than anything. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking, right, well, let's just see how this pans out. And I'm thinking, well, every time Gale's got the ball, I'm thinking, well, Fraser would have been better there. Because he knows how to get at a man, because he's been doing it all of his life, Steve. So we didn't create very much. First half, pretty poor. We had large spells of possession, didn't do anything with it. Aston Villa, likewise, were very, very lacklustre. I think Watkins didn't cause us any problems at all in that first half. Not to note, not that I can remember. The only chance that we created, like shot on goal-wise, was that Ryan Fraser shot from distance from a decent bit of link-up from the front three. Apart from that, next to nothing. And at half time, you're thinking, well, this is exactly how we called it. I said in the match preview it would finish a score draw. I was right on that one, but let's be honest, none of us expected goals tonight. No Maximin, no Almiron, no Wilson, no Grealish. It was never going to have goal fest written all over it, and it panned out again to be one of the worst matches for the neutral, same as the West Brom game was last week. How many times are we going to say that? But the biggest thing for me to take away from that is the worrying state of if we can't pick up a result against a dire Aston Villa team, probably in their worst spell of the season without their star player. If we can't put in a solid performance and create chance after chance and look a little bit promising, what hope do we have for the rest of the season? And we've got games again. I mean, Brighton's next. It's another 6-pointer. God, how many times am I going to use that expression between now and the end of the year? Another 6-pointer where you know for a fact, regardless of Brighton's result against Southampton on Sunday, they will be up for it. They will be absolutely all over us because it'll be a huge match for them as well as it will for us. So if we struggling to put in performances against the shite West Broms and the lacklustre Aston Villas at home, what hope do we have for the rest of the season? And I'm sorry, I hate to be the fan to say it, but I believe deep down in my gut that it's just another relegation. It really is. It's too much stinks of it. The writing's on the wall. The Matt Ritchie falling out, the injuries we've got, Steve Bruce's general non-existent management style, Graham Jones coming in halfway through the season. What the hell was all that about? Mike Ashley trying to sell the football club in the background. It's just got relegation written all over it. And do you know what? Why it pains me to say that? Because if we go down again this season for the third time in that awful man's tenure, I don't think we'll come back up. And we could be looking at a very likely scenario at our neighbours just over the water. A League One club fighting for the Papa John Trophy. And that's what scares me the most, because I don't think Ashley would be as willing to keep the big players on the big money like the Nolans and the, you know, we splashed out on the Gales last time we went down. I just don't see it. I don't see how that's feasible. I think Steve Bruce might potentially keep his job if we get relegated, because he's a solid championship manager, no doubt, in the eyes of some idiot in that football club. I think Sheffield Wednesday fans will probably disagree. Aston Villa fans will probably disagree. But it's just another diabolical performance, and it's another, yes, it's a point, but it's another game that we should have won. And I look at the last two matches, West Brom and Aston Villa. If you'd gone back a month ago, I would have said Aston Villa was a hard game on paper, but not this Aston Villa, the Aston Villa that's been beat off Sheffield United recently. So you're hoping for maybe 4 points from that game, and here we are, sat here with 2 and 1 goal scored, which was a 94th minute goal from our centre-back. Goals are hard to come by. Performances are hard to come by. Positives are hard to come by. A manager with any kind of significant tactical plan is hard to come by. Oh, and Steve just, you know, let's just call a spade a spade. That was shite again tonight. And I've seen some comments on Facebook on our Black and White banter pages that have said, well, the lads grafted hard tonight and that's all we ask. Well, yes, we want a team that tries, first and foremost, but we also need a team to create chances and give us a little bit more going forward, because without being the cliche guy, you only win football matches by scoring goals, and that's what worries me the most at the moment, that our goals are coming from a centre-back in the 94th minute, that we haven't one shot on goal, and it's 1 shot on target, 2 shots on target, whatever it was before Lascelles. I think it was Murphy's crossbar shot and the shot in the first half from Ryan Fraser. It's not good enough. Our forward line needs to improve. Fraser, you're in the team now. It looks like you're in the team to stay. You need to start showing us something. We were all excited when you signed, but nothing. We see nothing from you. No quality in terms of crossing, in terms of that final decision. In 2 matches now, I haven't seen anything from you. Murphy did more when you came on. Shelvey in midfield, we need to see more from him. You know, I've never been a huge Shelvey fan for a year or so now because of his lack of work rate, and he needs to graft harder. I thought Willock looked a little bit better tonight, but the whole team needs to play with more intensity, and we saw it against Everton. And I keep going back to that Everton game when Graham Jones first came in. We saw it against them, what we can be capable of. Yes, we've got injuries. Who doesn't know, Steve? Who doesn't? We can't keep going back to the injury thing. We still have a much better squad than a lot of teams around us on paper, in my opinion. We cannot keep saying he's injured, he's injured, he's injured. We've got a squad for a reason, and these fringe players like Andy Carroll, I'm not a big Andy Carroll fan. I think he's past it. He's becoming a championship striker the older he's getting. But I know one thing's for sure in tonight's match, those crosses that were coming in the box from Dummett on the regular, there was no one there to get on the end of them. Gale's, 5'5", God knows what height he is. He's a little man. Joe Linton, well, we're not going to rely on Joe Linton with his foot if he's clean through on goal with an empty net, never mind his head. So, I don't know, we need to find a way to work through these injuries, and that's what Steve Bruce's job is. But let's be honest, Steve, the job he's doing is ridiculous. And I think if Mike Ashley was actually watching Newcastle at the moment, rather than swanning about Saudi Arabia, trying to find a willing buyer for us, he would have seen by now how bad the performances are. And a part of me believes that Ashley's not watching us at the moment because he's got too much else going on. That's the only way that Steve can be staying in a job. When Chris Wilder lost his job this week, the first thing I thought to myself was, hang on, he's a bit of a legend for Sheffield United. He had a cracking season with them last year. Yes, they haven't been very good last year. How is he getting sacked? And a bloke who's had the money that Steve Bruce had spent in the summer, let's not forget that. The money on Wilson, the money on Fraser, the money on Lewis, all the players he brought in, his players, and yet we are sat 2 wins from 18 games, 3 points from losing positions, hardly any clean sheets at home this season. It beggars belief how he's still in the job on 2-3 million a year. There's people at my local Asda, stocking the shelves, who deserve to be on more money than this guy at the moment based off the job he's doing. It's an absolute farce that this man is our manager. And the longer it goes on, that's another reason I think we just sleepwalk into a relegation. So not many positives tonight. Another weekend ruined for us Newcastle fans. And yes, there might be some positive fans out there watching this who think it's another point gained and things could be worse. Well, yes, they could be worse. But is that really where our expectations are as Newcastle fans, to want a little bit more than an absolutely dire 1-1 draw against the poor Aston Villa team at home and a 0-0 against West Brom away, one of the worst teams in the division? If that's where we are as Newcastle fans, then I want to get off this bus and I need to have a reality check on what my expectations should be as a football club, because I don't think that I have high expectations. Not how the media perceive us to have anyway, but we need more than 2 shots on target in a match and, you know, relying on Lascelles to pop in the 94th minute goal to avoid relegation for the 3rd time under Mike Ashley. It's just getting draining, and it's constantly, I'm doing these videos where it's negative, and I try and avoid calling for Steve Bruce's head, but it always comes back to it because I can't help it, because it's poisonous now. The state of our football club, the way we play, the performances we churning out for the neutral, for the pundit, for the die-hard Newcastle fan, for me nana who just turns it on in the background while she's making the tea. Anyone watching Newcastle at the moment is getting... It's just, we're sick of it, man. Absolutely sick to death of it. And I'm trying not to rant right now. So please, let me know in the comments what you thought about tonight's match. Positives, your man of the match, and let us know whether you think we're going to stay up this year. If you want to rant, then please feel free to vent. If you can like and subscribe, I'm now up to 21 subscribers on YouTube. Might not be many to you guys watching, but to me it's a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I love doing this. And if you want to get me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm posting content on there every day. It's Black and White Banter. And I am doing a live competition at the moment to win a 95-97 home shirt, authentic, from the Keegan days. We can only dream of them now. And you'd be stupid to miss out, so make sure you get me on social media as well. And I'll check in midweek in the run up to the Brighton game, hopefully with the league table exactly as it is now, because there's no results for Fulham or Brighton over the weekend.